Welcome. My name's Arna, and today I am going to walk you through processing a package club using the Active Club Wizard. Now, what is a package club? We at Active Club had three different kinds of club types. One is a package club, selection club, and placeholder club. A package club is the easiest one. It is a fixed package design, and you put your product assortment into the package, and then that is sent to your customers directly or via fulfillment. We have another video on the subject of flexible package clubs, member choice, if you like. Now, what are the steps? There are 12 recommended steps in running a package club, and this demonstration will go through each one of those steps. As you become more familiar with the system, you can run clubs outside of the wizard, and you can run all of these steps individually outside of the wizard if you so desire. So let's hop over to Active Club and let's make a club run. So we're going to push the wizard, and then we'll create a new club run, and it's going to be for, oh, wait a minute, before I start there, let's have a look at our customers. You see here, these are the customers that I have, and these are in, I've searched on the 4-bottle club, and they are in various types. We have assorted, and we have one in red only. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing the 4-bottle club. Now, for an effect, Brad Pitt's record here, I'm going to strip his zip code off there so that you can see later on what happens during one of these steps. Okay, so let's create the wizard. I'll make it a little longer, the form. I'm going to pick that I want to deal with the 4-bottle club, so it's only going to pick people in the 4-bottle club of type assorted. Let's put in some description there, and then I'm going to also throw in some notes. It's good to put some notes in. It'll be useful as you have a historical record of all your club runs. Now you can see I've created the record, and I'm going to now push Start Club Run. And here we have our 12 steps, step 1 through 12. Now each one of these steps has instructions. You can double click on them, see the detail, and you can actually customize the steps for each one of the clubs types that we have, but that's outside the scope of this presentation today. So let's go through these steps. Step 1 is this is in the pre-club release phase, so we are talking about some weeks before the actual club run is going to happen. We're now going to assign all our members a username. Just in case they don't already have one, we're going to make sure that everybody has a username. And those usernames will be their email address if they haven't assigned a username to themselves. So let's hop over to the system and let's run that step. So assign club user, the user ID, it's running here, and then it's completed. Went very quickly. Let's go over to the next step. The next step is to send all our club members what we call a membership data email. Each customer gets an individually created email for them that has information about the club release, about the information you have on them on file, and their email identity and a link so they can go onto the website and change things as needed. Let's hop back to Active Club and have a look what that is. So at the bottom here we have a button, Send Membership Data Emails. Push that. Here it is. This is the email. And it's pulling various data from the customer's record. And here's his username, or his or her username, and various other fields. Now it is possible to change this on the fly here in the wizard. You can actually change the subject or anything in the HTML, and this becomes on grade the save template. But we recommend that you do that. Any major changes, you do that in the HTML editor before you're in the Club Wizard running stage. So it's for minor edits. So here we go. Now, because it contains all these fields, let's have a look what it would look like when somebody receives it. So let's send a sample to ourselves. And it's been submitted, and we should now check our inbox. See what we get. Come over here, and there is the letter that our customers would get. And you can see here's a nice letter to Sir Mix-a-Lot, and it includes a link for him to log into his account. Now on the website login, we log in. Here's our order history, here's our shipping information, and we might want to change to shipping from our seaside home right now for this club run. So let's log out and go back to active. Delete that email. Okay, so now we're ready to send it to everybody by pushing this button here, send. Now it's waiting for the server room to pick it up. Now it's running. And it's running some more. And it continues to run. And here we have completion. So that's done. So let's hop over to the next step. This is all again in the pre-club release phase. Now we're going to validate the shipping addresses. So let's do that. We'll click Validate Shipping Addresses. And it is running. And it's completed. Now remember I told you about Brad Pitt's shipping address? Let's have a look what happened. It filled in the zip code for us. So the shipping validation is quite smart. It can make all kinds of improvements, shall we call it, to shipping addresses so that they will make it through the carrier. Small deviation there. Let me go back to the wizard. So we've been through the 3 pre-club run steps. So let's go to the next step. The next step is, now we're actually in the club run phase itself, and we are going to what's known as update the sales tax rates and codes. This is for customers that live in destination tax states and are being shipped to. So they're shipping customers. Everyone living in a destination tax state can have potentially a different tax rate, and the all-important tax codes for Washington and New York for filing. So this step has been isolated to itself, so you can get this taken care of before you run into difficulties with the transactions themselves and ending up with transactions that have not been charged tax. So let's hop back to active, and we're just going to push update sales tax codes. And it's sitting there waiting to be picked up by the server room. Now it's running. It's now going out to ship compliant and the Washington State servers to get all that information. And that went smoothly, and we're on to the next step. If you see errors, if we did get errors, they would show up in this window here. So let's go to the next step. The next step is to actually create the package for this club shipment. So we're going to create the package. Now, at setup time, we will have created template packages for you for each of your clubs. So all you have to do is select it and pick the wine that you're going to ship with it. That's one of these, and I'm going to take that out of the Napa warehouse, and we'll grab one of these, and we'll put that out of the Napa warehouse too. So it's a 20% discount, which was in the template package, create package, and that step is completed. Now, what's the next step? The next step is to actually create these transactions. So, push the button. It's waiting. It's now running. And any second, we should be done. Now these transactions, the shipping transactions, have to get the shipping rate from FedEx, the weather report from NOAA. There's a lot of activity involved in these transaction creations. So it's done. There's no comments from it, from the wizard, and we're on to the next step. And the next step is to verify that these transactions are correct, should have the correct numbers on them. This is an important step. So we've isolated it as a step to itself. You pop over here to the transactions and you look at them. Let's expand this out a little. And you can see here that Sir Mix-a-Lot got a special VIP discount. Probably okay. The only place that not got charged tax was Florida, so that's okay. We've got shipping rates on everything here. All the shipping rates have been filled in. And our handling, our $3 handling rule has also been put on here. And then you can see we've got an assortment of pickups and ships. And in this view, you're going to have a larger data set. You can sort, for example, we can sort on the taxes. So the zero came to the top. I can sort by the pick, ship, I'm sorry. and the shipping and handling. So it's easy to quickly review the data because sorting it is the way to see things quickly. So now I'm going to say, yes, all this looks good. I'm going to hit the OK button, and we have verified the amounts in the transaction. So the next step for us is to charge the cards. Let's go back to Manager and push Charge Cards. And we have here, it's sitting waiting. This takes a little longer because we're going out to actually charge cards. Now in our case, we're using a test account for what, I don't know what gateway we're using here in this test database, but so the errors that come back is assortment based upon the size of the orders. Okay, that's done. And we're ready for the next step. And that is to print the labels. And we support FedEx, GSO, and UPS labels directly out of Active Club. So let's print the labels here. They are, in this case, FedEx. I'm going to go with the Zebra printer, special FedEx label, and pick the go for it. Okay, we're in for the next step. Let's go have a look what that is. Sending out sales receipts. So we'll push the button, send sales receipts. And we have various templates for that. We have one here for UPS, one for pickup. There's one here for FedEx, and so on. So I want to see what these look like because, again, they're full of all these codes. So I'm going to print a sample, or email, I should say, sample of a FedEx one. And then I'll do a pickup one. Both were submitted, and we should see these in our inbox. Here is the shipping one. Oh. This one here. And you can see here's your receipt with your, you can click to track. You've got your tracking number and all the details on the order. And then here the one for pickup. So it's basically saying it's ready to come down and pick it up, or whatever you want to put in that email. And again, what the contents are of that order. Now, our POS supports swap. So a customer could go in and do a swap on an order once they are in the tasting room. So let's hop back to active. So now I want to say, let's send out the receipts. Push that button. And it's running. Now it's finished. And we're ready for the next step. The next step is known as the bad credit card letter. So we have these declines and we want our customers to change their credit card number online. Now we do support on the POS if they're coming to pick up and the order was declined, that will show on the POS, and they can update that card on file and pay for this order in the tasting room at pickup time. But those are shipping, you'd like to go to their account and do it online. So that's what this is for. Let's go back here, and we're going to push send bad credit card email. So this is that email, and it's going to pull information about why it went wrong, your address, your billing address, that is, and here's the login to your account. So again, let me send a sample so you can see what it looks like. So it says that it's in my inbox. Let's go over to my inbox. And we should see that come in. There it is. There you go. And I can, again, click on the link. Log in. And update my credit card. Back to Active Club. We're ready. Push the button. Again, it's now running. Oh, completed. That was quick. So the next step is post-club run. Now we've run the club through to completion. The labels have been created, the receipts have been sent out, everything is ready to go, but we have some declines left, and we've asked them to update their cards. This process here will go through and see if there's been any changes to the credit card numbers on file so that we can retry running those transactions. And you just click this button here, and there isn't any changes been found, obviously, because we're doing this right now. But if you waited a day, you might have some changes coming in, and then you could go back to the cards and just run the cards again. And you can see it's back into running the cards. And it would pick up any of the cards that were declined with the updates that were just made, and then run them through again. And then you could also print the labels for those that were omitted because they were declined, send out the receipts again, and you can, in other words, you can go backward steps and repeat them. So that's the wizard. Let's have a look at a transaction to see what they look like. So in the wizard, I can double click on one of the transactions. And this is the transaction detail with the products that were in the box. And here is the get that turned off. This is the box itself. And on this tab was the payment. And on this tab, all your detail. There's the product detail, the discount detail, shipping and handling detail, sales tax detail, and total detail. So those are the transactions. Now, outside of the wizard, we can see these transactions as well. We'll click on transaction. So these are the transactions from today. I'm currently in the shipping date view, and you can see there's a couple of labels got produced with their tracking numbers. This is the credit card view, spinning the views to see which worked and which didn't work. There was, I noticed, a couple of prepaids in here. and spin the view to order detail, and this is all the financials. And again, a double click, and we shall see the same data we were looking at inside the wizard. Okay. Now, one other thing is the email. There's a lot of emails here today. So this is just the emails associated with this video presentation. So these are all the emails that went out to all the customers. Some of them were, some failed, you can see. There are some that were opened, as I showed you the website login. You can see here is the address that they clicked on, what device they used when they opened the email, so on. So this is our email tracking. So all the emails that you saw today have been tracked. So that's all there is to the wizard. That's very simple to run a club. I thank you for watching. I heard the ding, which means it was exactly half an hour, which is pretty good. Seems I've done this at least 10 times today. Thank you for coming. I look forward to seeing you again in another video.